In the following tutorial, we're going to take a look at probably the most important selection method you can use. Let's open up the fish pen JPEG file, and we're going to be using the path tool, or the pen tool, to create our selection. Now this particular method is used for a number of different reasons. The number one reason why is because it gives you the cleanest results. It also works well with print technology, and I'll be showing you that with our paths here in a little bit. And it also allows you to make selections of objects where you don't have a really good, clean, defined edge that you can use an automatic selection tool with. Plus, if we go to our channels, you'll see that we really can't make a selection of any of these different channels. So I'm going to create this file just like the other ones. Create a new layer, make it a different color, put it beneath. Let's go back to the main layer, and we're going to open up the Paths panel and use the pen tool, and let's make sure that we're not on the drawing mode, but we're rather on the path mode, and that's going to be important. Now I'm going to zoom up as well and start my path. Now I'm not going to worry about being too accurate in what I do here for the interest of time in the tutorial. As you know, it takes a while to work with the pen tool to get good, clean selections. But you do need to, of course, go around your object and zoom in so that you can see it exactly where you're putting your lines. And it takes a little bit of time, estimating how many points you're going to need and where they should go in order to create good, clean selections. And every object is different, of course. Sometimes you can use corner points, sometimes you have to use curves. And you can fudge it a little bit with some of these objects depending upon how intricate that object is. Sometimes little imperfections, a little bulge or something like that, you might want to actually minimize by not selecting. Like right here, I'm just going to kind of go across. I'm not going to do that little bump right there. I'm just going to go across there. And then when you get to the end, you'll close that path by clicking on the end of the path. Now if you need to adjust your path, you can always go back to the direct selection tool and move your path around. When it comes to your path, you want your path to be kind of on the edge of that object, maybe inset just a little tiny bit. That way you won't get the dark pixels on the outside of your object when you make your selection. So I've got my nice little selection here, and we're going to save the path that we have here because we might need that path for later. So I'm going to save that path, and just to point out, you don't need to do this, but if I were going to go to a print application like InDesign or Illustrator, I might want to make that a clipping path, and by making that a clipping path, if I were to save this as a TIFF image or an image that recognizes clipping paths, I would not need layers, and it would recognize that outline shape. Now we can also make a selection of this. Now there are two different ways. If I just go back to the menu and choose Make Selection, it'll make a selection. Or, let me do Control-D to unselect. Just press Control when you click on that path, and it'll make a selection of it. Now we can create a mask. Now that's pretty easy. Now alternately, we can create a vector mask. So I'm going to go back, and this time I'm going to click on the path so that I know that it's there. I'm going to click on the Path Select tool with the black arrow, not the white one. Select that path, go to Layers, go to Layer, Vector Mask, Current Path, and you'll see that I've actually got a vector mask there for that selection. So we might want to unselect it. The cool thing about the vector mask is if I select that mask, I might be able to get to that edge. There we go. I can actually redefine this sometimes interactively. There we go. And you'll see that I can redefine that edge just a little bit. It's not giving me the easiest. There we go. And I can actually interactively change the selection. So that's really kind of nice. And it's a really great tool in Photoshop. Go ahead and complete this and then save your work.